Good evening. I'm back. Video 96 of 365. I'm Samantha. I'm a therapist, and I am wanting to help you get over your addiction to your negative thoughts. And I'm wanting to help you become the you that you really want to be, but maybe you're just too scared to become the new you, or you don't know how to become the new you, or you don't even know that you can become a new you. So we're just going to talk about that a little bit today. And yeah, this is video 96. I'm doing a video every day for a year, and it was the purpose was to help me get over social anxiety and fear of public speaking and all of that, and finally give the gifts that I have inside me to you and not hold them inside me anymore. And I think I was holding them inside me because, first of all, I had too much information. I was a consumer of information, and while it was great, at some point I had to turn into a creator. So that's why I started this channel too, to be able to talk about all kinds of different subjects: neuroscience, quantum physics, psychology, and manifestation, of course, law of assumption, law of attraction, all that fun stuff. And I wasn't sure how to put it together. So each video that I do helps me kind of solidify more in my mind what I like to talk about, what I enjoy talking about, and what I feel helps people the most. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about how it can help you become the new you. And how you do that is you just decide, first of all, decide that you want to become a new you. And what is it that the new you would think and feel and believe, and how would they act, how would they walk, talk, dress, all of that. And I think we're taught to be small in society. I think society wants to keep us sick and unwell, and mentally and physically, of course. And so the more that you focus on being well, the more well you will be. The more you focus on being sick, the more sick you will be, whether that's mentally or physically. And so we have to learn to train our minds to think basically the opposite of what you're thinking. I mean, if you're feeling bad, we've got to figure out, okay, what thoughts and beliefs are we holding on to? What meanings are we making of these events that are happening around us? What do they mean about us? We've got to figure out what meaning are we making, because whatever meaning you're making, that is what you're believing about yourself and about your world. And so nothing changes until something changes. And the only thing to change is ourselves. Because if you don't change yourself, you're seeing from the same old self, always. You'll see everything, like a lot of people say they feel stuck. And most of the time that is actually, they believe that. It's not necessarily true, but they believe that they are stuck. And like I've said in the past, it's like putting a foot on the gas and a foot on a brake at the same time. It's like, okay, I'm going to work on feeling good. I'm feeling good. Okay, I'm noticing I don't have something, so I'm putting on the brake. Well, I'm going to start believing that, things can get better. Well, I'm still noticing that I didn't get that money in my account like I was supposed to the other day. Or just noticing all of those negative thoughts. That puts the brakes on everything. Puts the brakes on you feeling better is the main thing. We talk about manifesting, and we talk about the law of assumption and the law of attraction. And I've mentioned, it's the law of whatever works for you. Whatever you believe in is true for you, will be true for you, and it will manifest that way. What you expect, you will get. The universe will give you what you expect. It will give you what you are being. And so it's really, really valuable to examine what you're thinking in the now, because all you have is now. So you want to practice better feeling thoughts. And you want to do this on purpose, because you're going to notice that you're just going to be thinking, because we think 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. So you're never going to change all your thoughts like that. It's just going to be impossible to do that. But you can grab a hold of the most dominant thoughts that you have during your day. And like when you wake up, start monitoring how you're feeling and what you're thinking that created you to feel that way. And you'll notice patterns as you go along. You'll start to notice patterns that show up. And I think it's so fun to do this, because you can literally mold your whole life from designing your mind to think differently. And you have to train it. Sorry, I've got cat hair on my face, I think, or something. you have to train your mind away from the negative aspects that you're always focused on. And you have to train them into maybe believing the unseen, maybe believing something that's never happened before, maybe believing in the you that you've tried to be but failed, or you've tried to do these things that you hear on these videos and then you end up, quote, failing. But really what it is it's a lack of persistence for a long enough time. And we kind of think that we're persisting when we're not persisting. We let that self-doubt come in. And then we start creating that momentum, because energy just is, everything's energy. So you're creating a momentum, whether it's positive or negative, you're creating that momentum and with thoughts. So you'll notice, like, you'll think one bad thought and then you'll start to think another bad thought and another one. And that creates this momentum that just does not feel good. All of a sudden you're spiraled down, and it's going to be a lot harder to bring yourself back up from that versus just like thinking a couple negative thoughts and you're like, okay, I can get myself out of this pretty quickly now. Okay, I just need to think about something that makes me feel better, just 1% better. And so it really is like this noticing of how are you feeling, and then what caused you to feel that way. And we don't take the time to do that long enough to manifest what we're wanting. We just don't take the time to do it. And long enough, like I just said, like, you can't get a college degree in a day or a month or maybe even a year. You've got to still work at it as much as you can, because you're so programmed. You've got these old programs running in the back of your mind. They're the old story that you're identifying with. So when you have so many stories running in the background, it's hard to shift all of those at once, of course. But it can be done, actually. If you decide who you want to become, you can change your whole identity very quickly. But with so much negativity that we're programmed with, it can seem like it's harder for some people. It really can. And so you make it as hard or as easy as you want to as well. You got to really think about what thoughts are hurting me and what thoughts are helping me. Because if you're thinking thoughts that are hurting you, then that is what makes you feel so stuck. Because you felt that way yesterday, you felt that way the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that. Last year, 20 years ago, you felt that way too. It's a familiar feeling. And so it sucks, it hurts, you don't like it. But also, you feel like you don't have the patience, you don't have the skills, whatever it might be to... and you also might not trust yourself that you can maintain these good feeling thoughts either. I think that's a big one for a lot of people is, it's like we know what we need to be doing, and we've practiced it before, but we couldn't sustain it. And that goes for a lot of things in life. We diet and we can't sustain it. We start working out, we can't sustain it. We start thinking better and we can't sustain it. We set boundaries and we can't keep to those boundaries. We make promises to ourselves and we don't keep those promises. So we don't trust ourselves. So I think at some point it's a really great thing to start saying, okay, I'm going to show up for myself by remembering that I need to start changing my thoughts. I need to become aware of what I'm thinking. I need to focus on, okay, where am I going to put my attention today? What is my intention for today? How do I want to feel today? And then you put your focus on that deliberately, because, and I say deliberately because if we're not doing it deliberately with intention, it's probably not going to get done. If I need to do things, they've got to be in my phone and my Google Calendar. They've got to be there, because if they're not there, they're probably not going to get done, either because I'm not going to remember to do them or because I just didn't find it important to do. Because it's got to be in that calendar for me to schedule it in for myself. If it's important, it's going in there. That's what I determined. If something is important, I put it in there. Therefore, it always gets done. I never not get something done. But sometimes we have these self-trust issues where we've tried things before and they haven't worked. We feel like failures, and you're not a failure at all. You're just a human being who is programmed. And so reprogramming our minds is not the easiest of things to do, because we're still living this human 3D reality that we're in, and we forget that we're just having the experience. We're actually just energy, we're souls having an experience, we're one consciousness. We're consciousness in a body, basically, having an experience. This body is just a vessel that we're able to have 5 senses and experience this world. We only have our 5 senses, so we can experience the world. Otherwise, we just be straight up consciousness. So that's why we're here, is to experience. And so I just want everyone to have the best experience that they can have. That's my goal for people, because I saw, like, I've been through so much pain in my life, and pain and disappointment and all those things, despair and agony and all these things. And doing therapy with people in my practice, it's like everybody kind of has the same feeling. We all kind of share this sadness or disappointment that we aren't where we're supposed to be, or we don't feel good enough. So many people feel like that. And that's my mission, is to help people start unraveling, like, why do you feel so bad about yourself? Who told you that? And why did you decide to keep that story running? And at some point you have to say, I'm going to let go of this old story. I got to let go of this, because the old story is not you. It was just programmed. And so now you get to decide and design your mind and your life the way you want them to be. And it just starts with these subtle little changes. And pretty soon you're going to look back. I promise you, I've done this. I've seen people do this. Once you shift what you identify with, if you're identifying with the old story, you're going to stay in the old story. But if you start identifying with a new story that you're going to create, you get to create this new story. What is your new story? Write a new story for yourself. Write it down in a notebook. Start writing a story about how, where do you see yourself next year? Write a letter to yourself. That's another thing I have people do, is like write a letter to yourself today from your future self's perspective, and just kind of like have fun with thinking about what changes happened, and be outlandish, because nothing is really outlandish. All possibilities exist. You can have anything you want. You just have to believe you can. And you have to stop noticing what's not there, because when you notice what's not there, then what is coming can't get there, because we're noticing it's not there. So whatever you're noticing, whatever your attention is on, the universe is like, okay, you're in wanting energy, you're in lack energy, we're going to give you more wanting, more lack. But if you imagine abundance, and you imagine peace, and you imagine all freedom and all the things you're wanting, you're going to get opportunities, situations, all kinds of things that come to you that represent those feelings. And so decide who you want to be and become that person. That's everything in a nutshell. Just decide who you want to be. Believe you can be that person. Start being it today. Start being that person. Decide how they feel. Decide how you feel now versus how you want to feel. Compare the two. Just kind of have fun with this. You don't have to do this quickly. You can say, hey, maybe I'm going to work for like a whole year on myself. And that takes the pressure off. I got to manifest this thing really fast. You don't have to manifest anything fast. Things can manifest very fast, instantaneously, actually. But sometimes we don't want that to happen. Sometimes we do want to go through this growth process where we're shaped and molded into the person that we really want to become. So I say, like, take a whole year if you want to. Just like getting to know who you are and what you want. A lot of people don't know what they want. And a lot of people don't know what happiness feels like, even. Because maybe they've had happiness for 5 minutes and then someone took it away from them, they feel like. But everything happens at the perfect timing, at the perfect time and the perfect timing. It's not really about time, it's about timing. That's what I think. It's like there's a perfect timing for everything. And so take some time. Even though time is an illusion, we only have right now. Because what time is it? It's right now. Every now is now, now, now. And every now turns into a string of nows that turns into your future. So all you really need to worry about is right now. And just say, I'm going to take like a year, or I'm going to take a month, or whatever time you want to put on it for yourself, just to take some pressure off you and train your brain for success. Train your brain for freedom. Train your brain for happiness, whatever that is that you want to feel. Decide what you want to feel. Maybe you don't know even how you want to feel. Maybe you feel so defeated that you've tried everything and you just feel like you can't go any further and you're exhausted. Those are times whenever you just need to relax and remember that you're just having a human experience. That's all we're doing here. We're just having a little human experience for not very long. It's like a drop in the bucket of eternity. It's really nothing. This is nothing. We're supposed to be having fun. Just have some fun. Decide, I'm just going to have some fun. I don't care what's going on. We all have something going on. We all have something going on that, is probably very annoying, very traumatic, very scary. We've all got at least one thing, I would imagine, that we wouldn't want to trade with somebody else's problems. So we've all got something going on that is like in limbo or something, like I said, scary. Could be some health issues, whatever's going on. Just relax and say, I'm just consciousness in a body. I am so powerful. I'm just consciousness in a body. That's all I am. That's it. And then kind of relax into that and start telling yourself what you want to tell yourself instead of what you always told yourself. Like really examine what are those old stories and the old programming that is just like sitting there running your life and controlling you, and start deliberately telling yourself the things that you want to tell yourself. And just look in that mirror and talk to yourself. Say the exact opposite things to yourself today than you were yesterday and watch what happens. Really look into your eyes. Just say, I'm consciousness. I'm just a spirit in a body. This is all I am. This is amazing. I can do anything. I can bend energy and shape and mold myself into anything I want to become. And you'll watch what happens outside in your world. You really will notice some big changes. And you'll really start noticing how you feel inside first. It's going to start to feel pretty amazing. And you just have to kind of stay there and milk that as much as you can. We want to sustain these feelings. Remember, I've said you got to generate the feelings from within. So create scenes in your mind where what you're wanting is actually done. You're already that person. You already have those things. You're there. That's who you are now. You're in the 2.0 you instead of the 1.0 you. You're tuned to 104.5 instead of 92.1 as you always were. You just tuned the radio station a little bit to the right. And now you're that person. And so you're going to have those thoughts and feelings that person has. And as you have those thoughts and feelings that person has, your body's going to shift because your cells are changing, because your thoughts are changing, your feelings are changing. It's creating new chemicals going through your body, which is activating new genes and turning off old ones. Everything's working in a system. So you got to create a system for feeling. You could look at it like that too. Like you're creating a system as you're designing your brain and your body and your life. You're creating a system for creating the feeling of freedom. So feeling freedom is like, well, first identify where you have freedom already in your life. What areas do you already experience freedom and peace and love and happiness and joy? Where do you have those? Even if they're tiny, even if they're just, you watch a funny YouTube video every day and you feel great when you watch it for 2 minutes. Well, you got a 2-minute window in there when you can start milking that feeling and you start thinking about other things that might make you feel that same way. And you just start practicing the feeling of happy. And then pretty soon you're not practicing the old story anymore and you're not practicing those old feelings anymore. And then you're off and running. So it's just a practice of, and remembering, it's a reminder of who you really are. You're just having a human experience. Your consciousness in a body experiencing this. And it should be fun. We should be having fun. Even through the tragedies, even through the bad things that are happening, the bad things, you got to look at what's happening and say, okay, how is this working on me? How is this changing me? Like this YouTube channel, at first I was saying I was working on it. It's working on me every single day. My messages aren't perfect yet, but I'm getting there with certain ideas in my head as I speak this. What's happening in my own life is I'm noticing that whenever I do start to feel down at all, like something comes up and sends a little trigger in, I'm able to remember, no, I remember my own words, basically. I remember my own words that I told you guys. I bring them into my own life. And I'm like, no, you just do this, do this, do this. And then it's dissipated. It's totally dissolved. So I recommend you guys doing this, even if you don't start a channel. Record your voice. Start recording every day some really positive things, and remind yourself, even if you have to take notes from my videos, just like repeat these things to yourself. And as you're hearing yourself talk, and as you're talking, you'll kind of remember the things that you said during your days. So when you start to feel down, you'll remember, oh no, we got to think this way instead. Oh, I can deliberately generate a state right now. I do not have to feel this old way ever again. I can deliberately generate a new mental state. And from there, that's where we manifest from. That's where everything starts magnetizing to you. You are a magnet to everything that you want. You're literally, your body is a signal to the universe, and it's saying, give me, give me, give me. This is who I am. This is my frequency that I'm on. And this is what matches it. You're always getting what matches your frequency. Remember that too. That's pretty scary sometimes. We're always getting what we're expecting. So start to expect success, expect happiness, expect joy, expect wellness, expect excellence, always. You're awesome. Remember that you're awesome. Start programming a new story. Forget the old story. We don't need that old story anymore. We understand everything has happened to you. Everything's happened to me. I get the old story. We need to tell it. If you need to tell your story, tell it to somebody. We need a witness. Grief needs a witness, as they say. We've got grief going on. We've got some bad things that have happened to us, but that does not create our identity today, ever. That was the old story. You do not ever have to identify with anything that happened to you. You can create your new you any second that you want to. Any second that you want to. So yeah, take that in, and I'll be back tomorrow, video 97. I don't know if I said who I am. If you're new here, I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist. I don't know if I said that earlier, but yeah. And I love to talk about self-concept and manifestation and all of the universal laws and psychology and all this fun stuff. So I do offer coaching if you ever need me. I will love to help you. It's in the link below in the description. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. And thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.